So start with the heart. Put your hands together in prayer, and then let's move our hands around. So work with the push-pull, and notice when you push to one side, where you feel maybe an engagement, right? And when you push into the other side, maybe you find the yielding, right? So you push and you have to yield in order to get anywhere. If you only resist, then nothing happens, right? Good. All right. So good. Now I love that. So let's bring some momentum here. Push, 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 twist, 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 twist. Nice. And keep the hands pressing so that your knuckles all line up and there's not a lot of space between your hands. Good. Awesome. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then land your hands right at your heart and take your thumbs right into your sternum. I'm just going to turn to the side. And what I want you to do is start to push the sternum up into the thumbs and then drape your shoulder blades down your back. Now, because we're going to work with some releasing in your lower back here, I want you to actually pull your sitting bones back just a little bit and then lift your chest more. And as you reach the sitting bones back and your chest up, you're like in a cow spine on your standing legs. Then bring your head back up to center and keep your cow spine, but bend your knees more and put your hands on your thighs. Like you're about to sit back into a chair, but put your hands on your thighs. And then you're going to round your spine, chin into chest, and then pull your sitting bones back. And then what I want you to do is think about this as if it were a core exercise. And you're gathering up all those muscles to bring your pelvis forward, and then you release as your pelvis goes back. So if you are on your back, your stomach would be working and pulling into your spine. Yeah, good. And then if you want to, you could, if you have any energy you want to release, you could stick your tongue out as you go through your cow and breathing through the movement, through the transitions. So notice as you're going back and forth whether you can go a little deeper in your seat and feel your legs even more. Now, terrific. Okay, now come to a neutral spine and make sure you feel that your core is engaged. Put your hands on your outer legs. Yep. And then I want you to push your legs into your hands. Push, 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 push. So push out and resist. So your legs are pushing, your hands are holding the legs where they are. And now pull your sitting bones back even more. So yes, that's it. And then suck your belly in and turn your upper thighs in and down if you can feel that. We're going to find that in a second. Good. One more breath in. And now breathe out. Just release a little bit so you can take your hands off your legs, but keep your knees bent and stretch your arms up high. So like we'll call it a light chair pose. And then sit your hips down a little more and bend your knees just a little bit more and stretch your arms up higher. Yep, good, good. Keep stretching. Nice. Breathe and reach. Good. And now the fronts of your shins may feel like they're kind of grabbing. Shift back into your heels if that's the case. Straighten your legs. Keep reaching high. And then grab hold of your left wrist with your right hand and take a side lean to your right. Keeping your legs more on the straightish side. You don't want to lock your knees, but you want to keep your legs pretty straight. And then start to spiral and look down. So spiraling in the torso. And then spiral up and look up. And as you're going back and forth, just notice, like I know that I have some places of glitchiness in this movement. So when you feel that glitchiness, pick yourself out of it, right? So you may get a little pull or a little hello from your side body here. Just feel where that, and notice when that happens, take your time and pull through it. Good, or move around it. And then come back to center, and then switch sides. Grab hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Yep, there you go. Pick yourself up and tilt. Good. And then as you feel that curve in your body, you're going to look down and look up and notice where you're moving from. So notice the muscles in your back. Notice the movement of your ribs, the turning of your eyes. So all of the senses can be on. Good. And then last one, and come back up, pull, 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 and then take your hands and separate them and wiggle your fingers. Shrug your shoulders as much as you can. And then I want you to pull your back ribs back just a little teeny bit. Yeah, good, good. I can see that actually. And then soften your shoulders and lower your scapula down your back. Bend your elbows. Let's bend the knees again. And now different kind of twist. Now the twist isn't from the pushing of the hands. It's from the pulling of the scapula into your back. So one side pulls and pulls you in that direction, and then you release the grabbing, and the grabbing to let go, right? So you gotta grab in one place so another place can let go. It's all about support and bringing yourself into that space of knowing how you're holding yourself so that certain parts can be soft and certain parts can be supported and supporting. Good, let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then come to neutral. Take the backs of your hands inside your legs, and then I want you to push your legs towards your hands and resist. Now, if you need a little more support, you can wiggle your elbows into the sides of your body so you can kind of tuck in, and then pull, pull. It's an adduction. So the legs are coming towards each other. Push, push, push your legs into your hands and resist, resist, resist. And then feel, if you can, a lift of your belly off your navel away from your pubic bone. Good. Breathe in, sit down a little deeper, and hold. And it's not the most comfortable thing, but it does give you a sense of integration, hopefully. Good. And then very slowly come to stand, release your hands. Now I want you to start to shift from hip to hip, from leg to leg. And if you can, so we just engaged adductors and abductors, I want you to pull from your inner and outer legs to do this. Yeah, good. If you have to widen your feet to feel this, to get more out of it, do that. But it's feet up into outer legs, it's outer feet into outer legs, and inner arches up into the inner legs. Good. And it might, if it feels easy, that's okay. Give it some more oomph if you want. Nice. Yeah, good. Okay, and then go ahead and let's start to bend one knee and then the other, and we'll stay in this shift. Now what I want you to do is start to bring the movement up sequentially from the feet all the way up. So we'll start from the feet. So find the ball and socket of the ankle joint, right, rolling around a little bit. Yep, so it's the ankle and the foot that shifts your weight. Good. Nice. And let's go a little faster and a little faster. Good. It's from the feet that you're working. The arms can be easy and free. You can grab your scapula if you like to be more like a sea monster. I always feel like a sea monster with this. And then now bring your attention up into your shin bones and move the shift or create the shift from the shin bones. So one side then the other. The calf muscles will be working. The muscles right in front of the shins will be working. Good. Shift and shift and shift and shift. Good. Now from your knees. So and it's partly from awareness, right? It's not necessarily that you're kind of moving just from that one place, because the whole leg is doing the work. But bring your attention to that place. The ball and socket, or the joint of the knee, the kneecap floating. Good. Now to the upper legs, shifting and shifting and shifting, and maybe you feel that you can find some lightness, yeah, as you're moving from side to side. Good. And now from the pelvis, and it'll look a little different when you're moving from your pelvis, because now there's a little more differentiation. Yeah, back and forth, shifting, feeling the tailbone and the sitting bones moving away from the front line of the body. Good. And maybe the hip points push you forward and the sitting bones pull you back. You can feel into let your body show you. Now let's bring it into the waistline, just below the ribs. A little bit of a harder place to access. See if you can feel the kind of a reach from one side and the other. Nice, that's great. Let your heart start to pump and some energy build. And now ribs. So now ribs are shifting you, initiating from the reach of the one side and the other. It might throw you off balance. That's okay. Your arms might go with it. Yeah, let it be free. And then your shoulders. Let's go from the scapula into maybe elbow. Good. Just massaging the system as we build heat and find ourselves in flow. And then heads of shoulders. Good, maybe circling back, circling forward, right? Circling in any direction that feels natural, right? So do what's easy, but that you can put a lot of effort into. And often it's the coordination that makes it more complicated. Good, now from the right ear, and the left ear, and the right ear, and the left. Good, and let your head flap and shift. Awesome, good. And then from the whole side. Yeah, see if you can bring all of these parts into it. Yeah, just shifting, moving from one side to the other, balancing out right and left so the two sides can listen to each other. Good, reconnecting ourselves through deeper listening. Good, more, yeah, nice. Now let's take it into arm circles. So circle one and then the other. Beautiful. Let your fingertips have imaginary weights on them. So there's lots of momentum. And the heaviness of the weighted fingertips gives you a point to move from, something to move to. Right, so the heaviness teaches us and shows us, let's go the other direction. Yeah, you already did it, good. Circling, feeling the scapula come off the back. Beautiful. Keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now take your arms and let them just float down. And then all I want you to do is just move your hips. Keep your arms as still as you can. So shifting from one leg to the other, waggling your tail. One side and then the other. And this can be about the bones and the muscles moving. So the bones kind of slipping from side to side and the muscles activating that movement back and forth between those two in that interplay. Good, and now bring it into a shake. Let's call it a quake actually. So the quake is what happens to you. The shake is what you bring. Right, so let's think about this as a sort of an implicit, what's inside of you comes in, from inside of you out. Good, nice, good. Keep going. Let's give it a little more. 10, 9, give it a little more energy. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now pause. Notice the energy that you just created. And remember that every time the energy within us feels stagnant, all it takes often is just something simple like that to kind of move our attention, move something that's stuck out, and actually make room for more of what you want. Now let's shake ourselves. So now a shake is something that it's like a will, right? It's like, okay, I'm shaking my arms, I'm shaking my legs. There's an active part of like what I want to release from me, right? So it's more explicit from the outside, right? Expressive. Good, outward. Yeah, good. Let's go for 10. Shake everything, shake your head, shake your cheeks. Shake your cheeks on your face, shake your cheeks on your butt, shake the backs of your arms and the ribs. Imagine that you're shaking off cold water, trying to both get yourself dry and warm at the same time. Awesome, good. Let's go 10 more. 10, 9, 8, even more shake. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now float the arms up. And let's keep the shift, the gentle shift from side to side here. And at any point, if you want to lift a hip or you want to reach with an ankle, keep the arms floating. Nice. Yeah. And the elbows can bend, absolutely. The fingers can wiggle. Good. And then let's still the shift. So let's find center. And let's take an active stretch. So stretch through your fingers, stretch down through the heels. Good, keep reaching. And then close your eyes and look inside And just observe what parts are moving away from each other, what parts are moving towards each other. So it might be that your ribs rise up towards your shoulders, shoulders towards ears, but then fingertips away, 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 and then down low, right? So the pelvis away from the ribs, pelvis towards thighs, thighs towards knees and shins, towards heels, heels away, away, away. Good, keep stretching for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then release the effort of the stretch, but keep the shape. And let's create small curves in the pelvis with eyes closed. So this doesn't have to look any particular way. This is really just about finding the outer curve, the inner curve, a lift on one side, a shift on the other. Let it be whatever you want it to be. So if there are muscles that want to be stretched, you stretch them. If you feel like there are some parts that are kind of sticky in your joints, maybe circle around them, circle into them. And then straighten the legs, take the curves out, take your hands behind your head, interlace them like you're sitting in the sun, yep. And then we're gonna step the feet more underneath us. Let's find our chair pose again. So this is not to torture you, just to go into integration a little more. So my eyes are closed. I'm gonna draw my elbows towards each other, a little cat spine, so pelvis comes underneath. And then my elbows are going to open as my tailbone moves back and back and back and back. And do that a couple more times. Elbows towards each other, pelvis comes forward. Now suck your belly in, lift your pelvic floor. Let this be a core exercise. We're going to do this on our back in a little while. So I want you to feel this from standing or experience it from standing so you have a different reference point than when we do it on our back. So pull in and then extend out. Yeah, that looks great. And add your breath. So your exhale is on this part. The exhale comes, brings your elbows in. The inhale pulls everything open. Good, 2 more or so. And your hands behind your head are really for traction for your neck. So you don't grip in the sides of the neck or clench your jaw. Okay, good. Stand up. And then turn your right toes out to the right. We're just going to take a little exercise, just tapping elbow to knee. And it's about the standing leg, and it's about the crunch. Did I actually say that? The engagement in the right side of your body. So the elbow goes towards the knee. And see if you can take the shift out of it. So every time the foot touches down, really the opposite side doesn't get disturbed, right? So it's just that lifted leg that's doing any movement. But your body isn't moving laterally, it's staying on the vertical plane, mostly. Good, 2 more. How's that standing leg? Good, and then switch. Let's just go right into it. Elbow to knee. Whoops, you might have to find your standing leg like I just needed to. Standing leg is strong. Elbow to knee, consistent. Right, just feeling that clarity if you can, the clarity of line, the clarity of motion, even though there's lots of variety each time, right? Even though it's a little bit different each time, there's still the form to work with, the framework. Good, 2 more, and 1 more. Good, let's go into the twist now with hands behind the head. A little different now. So now the traction of the neck might help you free up the back ribs, right? And might even feel more like a horizontal planar movement, right? So the eyes might move with the turning. The belly draws in, the ribs turn. And let's say for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then take your interlaced hands. Let's give them a break. Shake out your hands. Shake out your shoulders. Let's bring a little bounce to the legs. Good, shake, shake. Yep, and hips can go with it. You can make it sassy and fun and like your 12-year-old self. Good. Shake. Notice what feels good about this. Shake something out. Okay, now let's shake something down. So down. Let's add the breath, yeah. Good. Keep going, and notice as you pull the arms up that there's an opportunity to feel the scapula pull into your back and towards each other. And as you release the hands down towards the ground, there's an opportunity actually to really engage in the core so you can let go in the arms. We're going to go for 20 more. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, good, 14, good, throw it down, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, good, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, straighten the legs. Let's go to a wide stance. I'm going to just turn on my mat. Toes goddess pose, so toes turn out, knees turn out. And then let's find the center line and places where we can engage. So heels draw towards each other, arches lift, toes are easy, knees turn out, and only go to that point that's right for your body. Now lift the pelvic floor, and it's the grabbing of the heels towards each other that will help you lift the pelvic floor. Yeah, good. And then put your right hand on your belly just for a moment and your left hand on your heart. Good. And then all I want you to do is start to move the hands away from each other. It's not a big movement. And then the hands towards each other. Same idea, cat and cow, right? So tailbone moves away, sternum lifts up, and then tailbone underneath. Suck your belly in, fantastic. Good, keep going. And you know, you can use this tactile reminder of the hands on the body to show your muscles what to do, by the way. So there's a lot that you can gain from having your hands on your body as a teaching skill or tool or navigational tool. Where are you locating yourself? Good, last one. And then find a neutral pelvis. So that means you could find the neutral pelvis by going to the two endpoints, pushing it forward and pulling it back, and then finding somewhere right in between. Now take your arms out to a T. Yep, and then all we're going to do is bend and straighten the legs here. We're going to take it very slowly, which could be, you know, a little trying on the patience. But so you'll go as deep as you can, and then you'll dig your heels in to straighten your legs. And then bend your knees and straighten your legs. Good, and watch that your torso doesn't tip forward. Make sure that your torso is directly over your pelvis, and that when you dip down and you get low, that you don't collapse there, that you're still held in this shape, right? That you don't kind of go, oh, I'm at my lowest point, I'm going to collapse into it, but you actually meet gravity in some way through your attention, through even being a little more conservative, maybe not going so low, but going low enough that you feel the engagement and the heat. We want the heat here. We want to build that. Good, 2 more or so. And 1. And then turn your back toes forward. Let's take a preparation for triangle pose. So keeping your arms extending, pull your hips back and forth. So right hip pushes forward, left hip pulls back. Just a little swing here of the hips. Nice. And then I want you to stay in the position where your right hip pulls back, and then lower, extend the right side of your body, lower your right hand anywhere on that right leg. Yep, go the other way, yep. Good, and keep pushing your feet into the ground so that the pelvic floor lifts, and there's, yeah, good, that's great. Okay, breathe in, look up at your top hand, lengthen the right side of your body, And notice, if you can, an internal rotation of the left leg. So the upper left thigh turns inward. You can even say that it's looking at the right thigh, right inner thigh. Good. Rise up slowly, and then we'll take the second side. Turn your right toes parallel, left toes to the back, arms extend, breathe in, and then a little back and forth with the hips here, and then we'll end, we'll prepare for the second side of triangle by pulling the left hip back, extending the right hip back as well, and then extending through your left arm, reach, 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 left hand lowers to left leg, right arm high. Yeah, and then find, earlier we did that bit of telescoping of the torso as we were taking our side lean. Maybe you can feel the ribs now extending and turning. So the right ribs turn up, the left ribs turn to face that side wall if you've got a wall there. Good. Rise up slowly. And then let's turn towards the front leg again. Flipping your back heel, put your hands on your right thigh. We're going to bend and straighten your left leg. So that's the back leg, yeah. And then, so I know I have a tendency to really sink into my shoulders and kind of collapse into my hands. So if that's the case for you, keep your hands really light on your leg as you bend and straighten your back leg. This is going to get easier. I'm going to do the hard part first. So bend and straighten, and the back leg, you want the knee to really look down and then extend back as you do this. Nice. Okay, now lower your left knee all the way to the mat. Yep, guide yourself. And then put your hands to the inside of your right foot. And then we're going to pull back and stretch forward. And just take it nice and slowly, moving through the hips. Really letting the knee bend, but also rooting into the heel, that right heel. Nice. Good. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's sweep the right leg back and around. And we'll play with this right leg in the air for a moment. So right leg is going to lift, the toes face down. And then I want you to just swing the leg like it's your tail. Like you're a happy animal. Any animal will do. And as you swing your tail back and forth here, just notice those points that might feel a little glitchy, points where you want to extend a little more. And then let's put the toes down all the way over to the left and look over your left shoulder. Lean into your right side body a little more. And you could even pull the right shoulder forward a little more to get more space there. Yep. And now you're going to tuck your right knee behind your left knee. And we'll take cat and cow here. If you want a wrist stretch, you can flip your hands over. But you can also have your hands in neutral position. So now with your legs like this, your cat and cow might feel really different on your hips and your low back. So notice where you could press into the ground more. Notice where you can rise up out of that grounding. And just a couple more, breathing into your cow spine and breathing out to engage in cat. Good. 2 more. And then come to neutral spine, turn your fingers forward, uncross your legs. And let's sit back into a child's pose, tenting your fingertips and letting your ribs really drop down. And as you're extending in your child's pose, just notice if you can that your child's pose has expansiveness to it, right? So your side ribs are breathing. Your belly, your front line is opening, as is your back line. So, this is a lovely circumferential place, or a lovely shape to practice this circumferential breath. Now let's come forward to all fours, back to downward facing dog. Root the knuckles, the index finger and the thumb of the index finger and the thumb into the mat so you get off your wrists. And then let's pedal the feet just for a moment. One heel comes down, and then the other. And find a nice deep bend in the knees. And try, if you can, also to feel or find lift through the sitting bones. So you create space through your effort. And then take a nice, long, slow walk to the top of your mat, 1 foot at a time. And notice as your toes touch down, as the ball of your foot touches down, and the articulation of your feet. And then do this. Grab your big toes with your peacemaking fingers. I'll wait for you. Yeah? Okay, good. So grab your big toes and then just tug up on them. Your legs don't have to be straight here unless you want them to be. And then release that and grab your second toe with your peacemaking fingers and tug up on your second toe. And then grab your third toe, just for some awareness and for some sensory input here. Pull up. And then your fourth toe, pull up on your fourth toe. Pull, pull, pull. And then your fifth toe, pulling up on your toes. Good. And then push the pads of your toes down into the mat. And then start to lift your, look forward, look forward, look forward until you come up halfway. Pushing the toe pads into the mat. Yeah, good. And then slide your hands to your calves and fold in. Let's do that twice more. So pushing the toe pads into the mat, lifting the arches. Look forward, look forward, look forward, look forward. Good. And then pull in, pull in, pull in. Maybe you lengthen even more of over the legs. Again, one more time. Look forward, look forward, look forward, look forward. And then fold, 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 fold. And then let's do this pretty quickly. Come up to stand any way you want. Just come up. Okay, shake. Let's quake. So keep your feet rooted into the mat and let the quake rise up through your body, through your arms, through the sides. Good. And then let's still that and push the ground and the ceiling away. Yes. Now push and look up. Look up, look up, look up. Let your pelvis hang. Lift your ribs. Drop your head if it feels okay for your neck. Otherwise, draw your chin into your chest. Push down. Okay, we're going to start the shake from up here. So start with your hands, your fingers, your wrists, your elbows, then into your elbows, then into your arms, and then down into your shoulders. Shake something up. Shake something out. And then maybe into the ribs. Good. And into the hips. Blah. And into the legs. Shake something out. Good. Good. And then let's drum on ourselves. Yep. Let it really be a slap so you can feel it. And onto the belly, and to the sternum, chest, side of the body, drumming or slapping, however you want to think about it. Just invigorating the skin. Good. And then let's brush. Brush the front line of the body. Let's start with the front. From really sides of the neck. Could be in front, through the cleavage, anywhere the hands land. Now let's go to the sides. The sides, just brush down from the armpits to the sides. Good. And then from the kidneys, flush down, back line of your body. Good. Now let's brush up from the back of the heels up. Brush up. Brush up. Good. Keep going. Keep brushing up. And then to the sides, brush up. Good. Just really feeling all of the lines, all the places where you make contact. And then the front line, brushing up and up. Good. And one more time, brush up. Good. And then lower your arms by your sides. Take a moment to just pause and feel where we are. So notice where your energy goes when you go in, where you can experience your energy in your body. It might be in a lot of different places, and it might keep changing too, by the way. You could even ask yourself the question, where is my energy now? And then go ahead and open your eyes. I'm just going to mute you. Not because I don't love you, but just there's background noise. Okay, and then let's take a water break. So let's do this now. So starting with the second side, we'll take the left foot forward and the right foot back. Put your hands on your thigh. It's a long time ago that I did this. And then you're going to bend and straighten your right leg. Bend and straighten. So if you can see me here, bend and straighten and bend and straighten and bend and straighten and bend. Good. And notice each time that you straighten your leg, can you keep all of your 5 toes tucked as you straighten that right leg? Bending and straightening. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Good. Feeling your legs now? Good. And yeah, good. All right, and then go ahead and lower the knee down. Yeah, and guide yourself down as needed. And then you'll put your hands inside the foot. I think we had it actually on both sides of the foot on the first side. So you're going to pull your hips back and forward and back and forth. So I'm bending and straightening. I don't know if you can see me well enough. Bending and straightening that left leg. Bend and straighten and bend and straighten. And one more time, bend and straighten, and then swing your left leg back in space. Kick it into the air and then wag your tail. Explore the back space with your left leg. Yep, notice if your hips are dropping, and notice how you can stabilize in the hips a little more. Good, it goes faster or slow as you like. Feel the engagement of the leg, awesome. And then you're gonna bring your left foot all the way over to the right and look over your right shoulder. Try pulling your left ribs even further to the left as you turn and look. Breathe and breathe and breathe. And now tuck your left knee behind your right knee. Shin swivel to either side. You can flip your hands for cat-cow here, or you can keep them where they are. So tip your tailbone up and open the heart, and then round the spine, chin, chest, and back and forth. Just moving with your breath. And you might be aware of that center line here, especially as the legs are crossed. Kind of, in a good way, disrupts things, right? It might even help you find a little more clarity through the center line. With the legs crossed, good, tailbone up and then underneath you, and up and underneath. Good, and last one, up and round. And then you'll unwind your legs, hands will come forward. Let's come to downward facing dog. We're gonna move downward facing dog to plank just a bunch of times here. Try to keep your weight in the thumbs and the index fingers rather than in your wrists. So down dog, and then we breathe in, come to plank, and breathe out, down dog. Keep going like this. Breathe in for plank, breathe out for down dog. Breathe in for plank, breathe out for down dog. Breathe in for plank, and out for down dog. Keep going, breathing in, and breathing out, and breathing in, and breathing out. And each time you exhale, see if you can push the ground away a little bit more, so you get a little more into those deeper layers. 2 more. And 1. And then lower your right knee to the mat, spin onto the outer edge of your left foot. And then pick up your left leg and grab your foot if you can. Looking down helps with balance. So nice thigh stretch here. So you're going to kick your foot away from your seat. Yep, if you can't grab your foot, you keep it in the air. Nice. On your next exhale, extend your left leg, put the foot on the ground, put your left hand behind your head. And then you're going to reach your left elbow forward in space and then up. And it's just a small movement. It's about your ribs lifting and your pelvis being neutral, and then an extension. It's not, again, it's not a big movement, and it's a lot also about engaging the right side of your body. So we actually did this from standing earlier in the class. And see if you can push the ground away with your right hand a little, just a little more. And notice if you feel more mobility in your pelvis as you push the ground away. Good, last one. And then you're going to keep your left arm, stretch your left arm high, keep it in the air. Lower your left knee down, so a little bit of organization here. And then you're going to thread your left arm underneath you and take a twist here, reaching, putting the left side of your head down, and the left outer shoulder down, and then the right fingertips crawling forward as you turn and twist. Breathe into the twist here, and breathe out, and breathe in, and breathe out. And last one, breathe in, and then you'll unwind. Right elbow comes down, left elbow comes down, and then just scoot your legs back one at a time and lower your hips to the ground. Let's take Sphinx pose. So the forearms are down, the hands are spread wide, and there's a nice curve in the spine. And keep picking the ears up off the shoulders, keep draping the shoulders down the back. Keep the front line really extending, so the heart away from the navel away from the pelvis, the pubic bone. Breathe in here, and then start to push the forearms into the mat. Lift the back ribs, and then look down at your navel and curl your toes under and come into a forearm plank, and let's hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your knees down, child's pose. Shift back, stretch your fingers. So make it a really nice, long, wide, full child's pose. Really wiggling the ribs into the sides of your, insides of your legs, and letting your ears drop, letting your jaw be soft. And come forward to all fours. Go ahead and come onto your left knee. I'm just going to turn around so I can see you. So right leg extends, right arm high. And then you're going to pick up your right leg and grab your foot and take the thigh stretch on this side. So you'll want to kick your heel away from your seat, pull your shoulders into your back, open the front line of your body. Good. Breathe and breathe and breathe. Nice. Now without snapping your foot, release it and extend it to the ground. Bring your right hand behind your head. So again, this is a little more subtle, but you're going to engage your left side body. Right ribs pick up, right elbow kind of moves forward in space, and then release. Right? So you could think about this as an engagement of the left side and then release, engage and release. Or you could also think about this as an arcing of the right side and then a strengthening or lengthening out, right? So two different ways to think about it. They're both the same thing. So engaging or extending or both at the same time. The pelvis is easy. It can move forward and back, side to side. Okay, now from here, you'll look down. The right arm will extend high. The right knee comes to the ground. And then you're going to thread your right arm underneath you and come into that twist. And notice those points of contact. So can you push the ground away? Can you reach a little further? Can you feel more space in the twist? Create more space in the twist? Breathe in. And as you breathe out, lower your left elbow down, push into the ground, slide your right elbow underneath your right shoulder. We'll come into down dolphin. So they're dolphin dog. Curling the toes under, elbows are down, hips lift. And then let your ears drop between your biceps. And lift your sitting bones higher. And you could think about it from these points too. The elbows push into the ground to lift the sitting bones higher. They're in line with each other, let's say. And then the sitting bones in line with the heels, or drawing the line from sitting bones to heels. Sitting bones moving away from heels. Breathe in. And breathe out. And then lower your knees down. And come to sit back on your heels. Sit up. Let's come to stand on the shins. Let's do a little more for the sides of your body. So put your right hand on your right ribs. And then your left arm high. And then I want you to push your hand into your ribs to take the side lean. So there's a lot of sensation, compression, and even engagement in that right side. Good. Keep reaching. Now, with your right hand, I want you to pick up your ribs to come back up to center. And then take the other side. Left hand to left ribs, right arm high. And then push with your left hand into your left ribs as you tilt to the left. Right arm extends. Good. Now to come up, you're going to use your left hand to pick the skin up up from the ribs, and then now place your right hand on your right ribs. And you're going to use your thumbs now to push the back ribs forward, and your front fingers to pull the front ribs up. And that's where you'll take the back bend from. So it's from the draping of the scapula, of course, but it's the tilting of the ribs. The legs stay stable. Once you have that and you feel like you're in a comfortable position, you don't want to strain your back, you could put your hands on your low back and keep moving. Yeah, there you go. And then you keep moving from your ribs. And I like hands on the low back only because it helps me feel where the pelvis is, and it also gives me feedback. If I want to push the pelvis into the thumbs a little bit more, it can lengthen the lumbar spine and can feel really good in the front too. Take one more breath. Just watch that your neck isn't crunched up here. And then bring yourself upright. And then draw the front line in, so absorb the front ribs back in, so everything can kind of settle down, but there's a lift from below, right? So upper meets lower. Yeah, nice. I can feel that. All right, now let's just move from side to side here. So shifting one side, and see if you can kind of remember what the feeling of your hands on the ribs were for you. Yeah, good. Shifting and feeling the ways that this opens you and the ways that this engages you. Let's go for 10 more. 10, 9. You can be gentle with yourself here and still put effort in. And 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And come back to neutral. Let's take the arms up. Now you can sit on your heels here or stand on your shins for some breath work. So we'll inhale 3 times through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. So it's like this. I'll stand up like you. So put your hands down, and let's stretch the legs back just so we get off the knees for a moment. Let's come to a plank pose, and just breathe naturally for 5 breaths. Inhale 1, exhale, inhale 2, exhale, inhale 3, exhale, Inhale 4, as you can imagine, I'm counting fast. Exhale, inhale 5, exhale. Bring your right shin forward, pigeon pose. If you need to do this on your back, you'll do it on your back. So your right knee can actually be extending out to the right or even a little more forward. Make this work for you. And do make sure that the back leg feels very long here. So let's start with some movement and then we'll stay in the pose for a little bit. So let's take a side to side shift from in the ribs here. And you may notice that it gets into some different parts of the leg, of that right leg here. Maybe the back leg too. So nice and gentle, shifting, moving from one rib to the other. Notice notice any places where you feel some softening. And then make your way forward into your pigeon pose. We'll take 2 fists here and stack them, and so your forehead can come down onto your fists. And breathe very slowly here. So you're inhaling and widening the ribs and exhaling, deepening, deepening, deepening. And 4 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then rise up nice and slowly, maybe from your eyes, looking up, looking up, looking up, and then swing your back leg around, maybe without using your hands. Come into a seated spinal twist. Right elbow over left leg. Pick up your ribs and look over your left shoulder. And then this could be about using your core, right? It could be about pulling the navel back and back and back and back and turning and grabbing the muscles in the side of your back and turning your eyes. So all these different efforts affect the movement and affect the shape and the experience of being in it as well. You're going to unwind slowly. Take the leg up. Maybe you lift it up in the air without holding it. Swing it back around. Put your hands on the ground. Plank pose. How about that? For 5 breaths. Inhale for 1. Exhale. Modify as you need to. If you have to come down to your knees, you do. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Inhale for 3. Exhale. Inhale for 4. Exhale. Inhale for 5. Exhale. Bring your left shin forward for pigeon pose. Hands can go a little wider. And then we'll take that swaying movement of the ribs, pulling the ribs off the waistline, right? Like you're giving yourself an internal massage, taking good care of yourself here. So whatever you practice grows, right? So the more you take care of yourself, the stronger your internal structure is, and that structure can be energetic or physical or otherwise, if you have another name for it, another way to describe it. Shifting the ribs, exploring the space on the sides of your body. And then let's center the torso and stack 2 fists, maybe the other one's on the bottom this time, and then drop your forehead onto the top fist. And now breathe nice and slowly. So as you're breathing wide here, you might even remember that sense of that circumferential breath, the egg shape in the body, right? So the breath doesn't just move up and down or forward and back. It adds the sides. And that potentiality really in your breath is exciting, right? So we're not just living on one plane, we're living on many planes. The frontal, the back plane, the side planes, the upward plane, the lower planes. And then pick yourself up, pick up your eyes, And maybe pick up your hands, swing your back leg around, and place your right foot over your left thigh. And then let's twist. Left elbow over right leg, right arm reaches behind. And then lots of spiral, lots of turning, different efforts happening, right? So the reach of your back hand might relate to the grabbing of the scapula, which might relate to the turning of your eyes. The pulling of your navel back might help you feel an isolated movement forward of your hip. And, you know, twisting twisting for me is often about, like, how many ways can I pull myself apart and bring myself together at the same time? I think that's why I like it so much. And then unwind nice and slowly. And then rather than flip back over, we're going to extend the legs. Let's take some roll downs. So working with those first exercises where we engage the core, let's do it here. So we're going to flex the hands, flex the feet. Now take a big breath in so you can feel the energy rise up from the ground up. And as you exhale, you're going to both push forward with your hands and your feet and pull your front ribs into your body and your back ribs away from your body and lower down nice and slowly for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your hands behind your head. Keep your feet flexed. You're just going to lift your shoulders straight up and back down, and straight up and back down, and straight up and back down. And let's go for 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then flex your hands by the sides of your body. Pick up your right leg. Both feet are still flexed. Kick the right heel straight up, left heel straight forward, heels of hands forward. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting. And then put your hands behind your head. Lower your shoulders down nice and slowly. And then as slowly as you can, lower your right leg to the ground, pushing through the ball of the foot, engaging through the thigh, reaching the thigh bone out of the pelvis, lowering, 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 lowering. And then as the right leg comes to the ground, notice the difference between the right side and the left side. And then you'll bring your left leg up to the ceiling. And then flex your hands and both your feet. Push forward with the heels of your hands and pick your shoulders up. And hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands behind your head. Shoulders lower down, back of the head lowers down. And then hands by your sides as you point. You could point your left foot and lower it down really slowly. So you're trying to reach your leg out of your body here. Reach and reach and reach and reach and reach and reach and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And then come to Shavasana, letting your body really soften. The bones releasing from the hold of the fascia and the muscles. The breath becoming softer and more passive. And in the dissolution, there's a resolution, right? In the dissolving, there can be a processing, a coming together, right? So what dissolves is what we don't need anymore, and what comes together is what's essential for us, and what's important, what matters. So as you're here in this ending shape, the end to practice that was a lot about engagement and the way we put effort in. Now there's no effort, and see what comes to you in the non-effort. So I'm going to stay quiet just for a minute or so. Let yourself be.